Hey, in case you missed it, mobile sports betting is legal here in the state of Ohio now, and BetQL is here to help you make the most informed bets possible. Get all of today's best bets by heading to BetQL.com or simply by downloading the BetQL app. Claim your free 3-day trial today at BetQL.com/news/923 The Fan for all of those exclusive sportsbook offers.
All right, Daryl, let's pick up where you left off. All four teams in the AFC would be in the playoffs. What would it look like if it started today?
So here's what we would have. Kansas City's the number 1 seed in the AFC. Baltimore is number 2. Jacksonville is number 3. Miami is currently the 4th seed. Pittsburgh is the 5th seed. The reason the Steelers are the 5th seed ahead of the Browns, who are 6th, is because, of course, that week 2 victory down in Pittsburgh. Cincinnati is 7th at 5-3. So your first round matchups would be Cincinnati, Baltimore, Browns, Jaguars, and Steelers, Dolphins. And of course, the Chiefs have the first round bye. You want to hear what the NFC looks like right now?
Yeah, what's the NFC look like right now?
Okay, so Philadelphia is 1, followed by Detroit. San Francisco is your 3rd seed. New Orleans is the 4th. Go Saints. Seattle, the Seahawks, my sister's new favorite team. They are 5th. The Dallas Cowboys are 6 and Minnesota is 7. So your first round matchups in the NFC, if the playoffs were to begin this weekend, would be the Lions and Vikings, Cowboys and 49ers, and the Saints and Seahawks on Super Wild Card Weekend. Isn't that that's what they call it, right? Super Wild Card Weekend.
Super. It's absolutely super. Everything is super.
It starts
Everything
with Super
is awesome.
Wild Card Weekend and ends with the Super Wild Card Weekend and ends with the Super Bowl. That's what I was trying to say.
Jared, where are we on the injury front? We got a little news on Jed Wills today.
Good news. Season is not over. The bad news, he still has to go to injured reserve. And considering he was carted off the field with an air cast on his right leg, this is like the best possible scenario, I think, right? I mean, because that scene at Cleveland Brown Stadium on Sunday was pretty scary.
Yep.
Those went down. Kareem Hunt got tackled from behind and landed, or was pushed, I should say, during that tackle into the back of Will's right leg. So it is an MCL, PCL injury, some bone bruising in there as well. So anywhere from 4 to 6, maybe a little longer than that. But the bottom line is he can return this year. Like, he doesn't have to have season-ending surgery. So in that regard, Andy, I think it's like the best case scenario where the Browns are concerned. You know what I mean?
Where do you think they will go with the offensive line, though? They're going to have to make some adjustments. Will they try to bring in somebody? Will they bring up a guy like Alex Leatherwood? What will they do?
Well, I think first things first, James Hudson comes into the starting lineup. Now, the question is, where do they put Hudson? Because remember, DeJuan Jones bounced in and out yesterday a little bit too because he got banged up. So Hudson had to come in and play some right tackle. Then obviously once Jed went out, he had to go handle things on the left side of the line. Now, I am of the belief that they should move DeJuan Jones over to the left side and protect Deshaun's blind side, and then have James Hudson handle right tackle. And if there's anyone that can get him ready to do it, it's Bill Callahan, because Bill Callahan, in my view, is the best offensive line coach in the National Football League. Now, whether or not that's actually going to happen remains to be seen. Kevin Stefanski did not want to commit to any of that today when we talked to him on Monday afternoon. But it sounds like that is something that I just didn't think this up myself, right? This is not just a unique idea for me. Hey, here's a great idea. It seems like something that the Browns are at least discussing privately behind the scenes.
No talk of moving Joel Bitonio over. That does, to me, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But I've heard a couple of people say, "Well, why don't they just move Joel over?" I'm like, why would you take a guy an All-Pro at his position and move him?
Well, then why would you create 2 holes with one?
Exactly.
Move? So no, I don't see Joel Bitonio getting moved.
All right. Any other words on the injury front?
Marquise Goodwin, concussion protocol. So, of course, he left in the Sunday's game. And then Greg Newsome, we'll see on Wednesday. He might return to practice to be determined. Kevin Stefanski not real committed, not ready to say anything there. So we'll find that out on Wednesday.
Daryl, with Goodwin, I mean, we talked about this a little bit in the post game, but Are we concerned about the wide receiver position? I think when you look at this, you just have to say to yourself, Amari Cooper is my top receiver, and David Njoku is my number 2 receiver. I almost think you have to eliminate the wide receivers out of the conversation. You're not getting any productivity out of it. Now, the question is that quarterback play? Is that lack of separation? Is that good defense? What is it? Why can't the Browns get more out of their wide receivers?
Looking at the numbers right now, Amari Cooper, 35 catches, 617 yards. And hey, at least we have a crooked number with the receiver in touchdowns. However, he still remains the only wide receiver to have caught a touchdown pass this year. Elijah Moore's your second leading receiver at the position. 29 catches, 270. David Njoku's at the second leading receiver overall with 32 catches for 319 and a couple of touchdowns. Jerome Ford, your fourth leading receiver, he's got 20 catches out of the backfield for $139, a couple of scores. Harrison Bryant, the only other player to catch a touchdown. Browns touchdown breakdown as follows. They have 7 receiving touchdowns, Andy, 5 of those from non-wide receivers, and they have 9 rushing touchdowns, 5 of those by some dude named Kareem Hunt. So thank God they brought that guy back.
So what does this tell you about the wide receiving core?
Well, it seems to be the Amari Cooper, Elijah Moore show at the position. That's
but it's like 90 Cooper, 10% more.
Marquise Goodwin has 3 catches for 10 yards this year. He also has 4 carries for 33 yards this year, right? So you're not using him a whole hell of a lot. David Bell,
is that by design or is that by the fact that those guys can't get open? What
opportunity? Your good buddy David Bell has a whopping 4 catches for 33 yards.
He's hurt too, right?
Yep. Everybody was devastated by the loss of Donovan Peoples-Jones, him being traded to the Lions, but he had 8 catches for 97 yards, 18 targets overall there. I mean, I just think it's a combination of a little bit of everything. Quarterback issues, system, and guys being open, and opportunity, and all that. All I know is every year we think that they have a surplus at a position. It turns out they really don't. Remember all the years like we're like, they got this abundance of riches at running back, right? And then they got Nick Chubb. And then Kareem.
Well, I mean, they did. I mean, when they had Kareem and Nick at the same time, that did feel like it. And then there were always guys that are like preseason favorites that.
Well, and that was the point I was going to make because, we've had a few years where like, oh my God, look at all these. They got receivers everywhere. They got receivers they can trade. They can get first-round picks for the 8th guy on the depth chart. Like, right? I mean, that's what fans were doing in training camp over the years. And then it turns out, no, they got like 1 or 2 guys that can catch a football, and the rest of them are, practice squad guys or whatever. But, I mean, they've got talent at the position, Andy. By the way, the impact, would you like to know the impact of the Donovan Peoples-Jones trade?
Yes, give it to me.
On Sunday's game and the opportunities that it opened up.
Sure.
Cedric Tillman got 1 target for 3 yards. He caught it.
I'm sorry, I blinked. I blinked on that play.
Marquise Goodwin was targeted twice, no catches.
But got hurt.
Elijah Moore, 2 targets, 2 catches, 14 yards. So, there you go. That is for those that were just absolutely devastated that the Cleveland Browns traded Donovan Peoples-Jones away. And not so much that.
Were you getting feedback that people were devastated by it? Like, I didn't feel like anybody was devastated.
They were really concerned. It was a concern. Like, what are the Browns going to do now? Who's going to get all those targets? And then
less than 20?
Yeah, and then I had to explain to him, well, he wasn't getting targets. Like, that's kind of part of the deal. That's why they moved him, so he can go somewhere, be productive. He's in the final year of his contract. They're not going to extend him, whatever, right? So, I don't know if it's a system thing or whatever. Now, Kevin Stefanski was asked that very question on Monday, and I will just say that his answer was vague at best, I feel like would be kind. And I'm pulling up the quote right now because I want to
say it correctly.
Yeah, I want to quote him correctly. Let's see here. Okay, here it is. So first off, you should know that while we have spent the last couple of minutes discussing this particular problem, Kevin Stefanski has spent no time thinking about it. So it's good to know that we are investing quality podcast time on this very subject. Here's what Kevin said, quote, the opposing teams know Amari is a good football player. He gets a ton of attention that opens up other opportunities. But the question is, no one else is getting other opportunities. Anyway, but the ball goes where the ball goes. It's just based on coverage. All our guys are doing what they're supposed to do. And when the ball finds their way, we have a ton of trust in all of our receivers, tight ends, you name them.
So he said nothing. Basically. Hey, Daryl, when we come back here in a second, we'll ponder this, what he said. And we're also going to talk about if the Browns are ready for primetime or not. The answer might be something you don't like. It's always game day in Cleveland.